In a previous video you have already seen what globalization is, but globalization also has many consequences for the economic development of countries, and that will be explained in this video. First, let's make a simplified classification of the countries. This classification is also called the world system. In the world system there are three groups of countries: the rich countries, the poor countries, and the developing countries. The rich countries mainly consist of Western countries. This group of countries is called the core. The group of poor countries have a very low income per capita. This group is called the periphery. Many people here have difficulty meeting their basic needs. The developing countries are between the core and the periphery. This is called the semi-periphery. As you have seen in the video about globalization, transport costs have fallen sharply since the 1960s. Moreover, trade barriers were limited under the leadership of the World Trade Organization, the WTO, creating free trade. Because trading became easier, it paid off for companies to use lower wages in other parts of the world. That is why there was an enormous growth in world trade. Especially production facilities were relocated to low-wage countries. Other business units, such as the head office, the design and the research and development departments, remained in the original country. The production chain was thus split up. Companies therefore had parts of the production chain spread over several countries. That is why these companies are also called multinational companies. Another name for such companies is multinational. These multinationals have a lot of influence on the international division of labor. The industry moved to low-wage countries, while the business services remained in the original country. In this way, the work is divided between countries. Many countries that belong to the core therefore had to deal with moving industries. This process is called deindustrialization. As a result, many cities were faced with vacant industrial areas, where later gentrification can occur. At the same time, there was industrialization in the poorer countries. Countries established special economic zones in cities where foreign companies could establish themselves on favorable terms. This led to migration towards the cities with special economic zones, urbanization. Some of those countries experienced strong economic growth and became part of the semi-periphery. The BRICS are a special group of those countries: Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And these countries were expected to experience spectacular economic growth due to their large surface area, their large population, or their large stock in commodities. The shift of economic power from North America and Europe to Asia is called a global shift. Although many countries are experiencing impressive economic growth, trade continues to take place mainly between the traditional superpowers: North America, Europe, and East Asia. These three trading blocs are called together the triad. Despite the fact that globalization has created opportunities for many countries, not all countries succeed in achieving economic growth. One of the reasons is that poorer countries often export many commodities, such as agricultural and mining products. Moreover, the price of commodities is very variable. Sharply falling commodity prices can then cause an economic crisis. Moreover, for countries that export a lot of commodities, the terms of trade are changing in a negative way. Commodities are becoming worth less in relation to end products. Countries that export a lot of commodities can therefore import fewer goods. If they then want to import as many goods as before, a negative trade balance will arise. The dependence on commodities therefore often has negative consequences for the long term. One way to go through economic growth is by ensuring exportvalorisation. This means that you add value to your export. The raw materials must then first be processed before they are exported. They are worth more because of the processing. As a result, more money is earned and a country is more resistant to price fluctuations. Globalization has therefore given countries the opportunity to achieve economic growth, but not every country has achieved economic growth yet.